putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
The administration will no longer fund ineffective programs run by the UN, instead sending money to groups directly through the U.S. Agency for International Development. This is welcome news to informal Trump advisor and pastor Johnny Moore.
We've lost 80% of Christians in Iraq, 50% of Christians in Syria. We've lost 99% of Christians in Turkey in a generation and a half.
The Center for the Study of Global Christianity estimates that 900,000 Christians were martyred between the years 2005 to 2015, or 90,000 Christians on average each year. Moore, whose new book, The Martyr's Oath, describes modern-day persecution of Christians, says that ISIS has inspired an escalation in the killings of Christians.
But what ISIS has done is they have inspired thousands of more terrorists to do the same. And so while ISIS is being eliminated in Iraq and Syria, ISIS-type persecution against Christians is expanding in places like Nigeria, in Somalia, and Libya, and in Egypt. You know, just a few days ago in Egypt, we had a priest in broad daylight knifed to death in the streets.
However, the biggest threat to Christians, according to Moore, is not ISIS, but authoritarian dictatorships.
North Korea has 70,000 Christians in prison.
According to a list generated by Open Doors USA, North Korea ranks at the top for extreme persecution of Christians, but the Middle East accounts for the majority of the countries. However, Moore is hopeful that new measures by the Trump administration will change these figures.
What I've seen, day in and day out, working with the White House in various ways, working on policies to help ensure that American humanitarian assistance actually goes to rebuilding these communities in Iraq and Syria. It's a world of difference.
Moore says this is a big departure from the policy of the previous administration.
In the height of the crisis, despite the fact that Christians and Yazidis and other religious minorities were the ones being chiefly targeted by ISIS, they were the groups being most discriminated against in our own resettlement policies. President Obama, his administration, wouldn't grant a visa to an Iraqi nun who was petitioned by Congress to come testify about the atrocities that she had witnessed because she was Christian.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. We're under attack is what it amounts to. We're under attack. Christianity's under attack. The American way of life is under attack. Judeo-Christian values under attack. Protestants, Catholics under attack. But who's not under attack? It is Islam. And Islam should be under attack because it's an ideology. It's not a religion. We're treating it like a religion. We're giving it special treatment. And I've asked many times, show me a religion that could do what Islam does and people not be outraged, and I'll condemn it as well. Buddhism doesn't do it. Catholics don't do it. None of the Protestant religions that do it. Wiccan doesn't do it. The Jews don't do it. The only people killing people willy-nilly are Islamic, and they call them radicals, but there's a lot of them. Killing people willy-nilly for no reason. And their stated goal is to take over the world religiously, to make the world a theocracy. Anybody who's non-Muslim is an infidel, and they've written rules into their book, the Quran, worthless as toilet paper, that essentially say if the people don't follow this religion, then they're infidels, they're dogs, they're worse than animals, and you can do what you want with them. What group writes that into their religion and wants to be considered a religion, wants us to get along with them? You would think that we'd be smart enough to say, hey, you know what? At the very least, take that out of your religion and maybe we could all have a conversation. Oh, Kevin, we can't have them changing their religious book. That's their religion. Really? Oh, geez, far be it from me to say, look, I don't buy into your religion when you're talking about killing me. I'm not going to have a conversation with somebody when I know that the only thing they have is malice in their heart for me. I'm not going to talk to you. You get yourself right, and then we can have a conversation. Fix your book. You know how many Muslims were killed in New York City on Halloween? None. New York City attacker, they say, Sayfullah, planned this attack for weeks. I got a question for you. How many others are planning their next attacks? ISIS people, they say, got news of the attack. And while we see footage of this stuff we see it as an insult, a tragedy. How could this possibly happen? We know how it happens. It happens because of liberals. But we see it and we're appalled. They see it and they celebrate. By the way, these are the people that celebrate right here in the United States that the left told us Donald Trump lied about. How could they possibly be celebrating? It's unbelievable. Celebrating. He's a new hero to the cause. And leftists know how they operate. But do you think any of these people are going to condemn this religion? They'll condemn the act. They talk about lone wolves and all this. The guy left a calling card that said ISIS, and these people, it was a lone wolf. That's what Cuomo said. The governor of New York. Well, yet another lone wolf thing. They're all talking lone wolves and guns. They're so used to saying the same things, they can't even get it out of their system. I tell this story because it's a funny story. An acquaintance of mine, Maurice Smith, he's a kickboxer. And all the guys were dominating mixed martial arts, the UFC stuff, were grapplers, Gracie-trained jiu-jitsu artists. And I kept telling people, as soon as a good kicker gets in there and can fight and stop from getting on the ground, you're going to see the whole sport change quite a bit. Well, Maurice Smith, former PKA karate guy, a lot of us know him, and Maurice is a kicker, man. The dude can fight. So he's keeping this guy from getting him on the ground. And it goes about 2 rounds. Maurice throws a spin kick, boop, hits this guy in the face, and knocks him out on his feet. You ever heard of that saying, knocked out on your feet? This guy's knocked out on his feet. He was so used to winning that the referee went to break, to get in there, and so Maurice couldn't hit him again. And he jumps in front of the guy whose eyes are still open, but he's a zombie. And he sees the referee jump in front of him so Maurice doesn't hit him again. And the guy raises his hand. Like, I won. Muscle memory. Because he had never lost. They quit kicking him. In jiu-jitsu, they only train for the grapple. A little bit of kicking, I'm going to get you on the ground, and that's going to be the end of the fight. Well, guess what? People got to the point where you could no longer take them down. Well, that's what it is with these guys in the media and then on the left. They're so used to going, gun control, and they walk around like zombies. And they go, but Mayor Cuomo, they didn't use a gun. Gun control, gun control, guns. It's the guns. And they're going, he's out. And the referee's in front. Go, he's out. Don't hit him anymore. Because that's the way they are. Don't blame the Muslims. Okay, then who do we blame? Please tell me, who do we blame? It's your fault. Be more sensitive. I saw an article and it said Muslims now concern themselves with the backlash that will occur from this latest attack. What happened with the backlash from the previous attack? What happened to the backlash from the previous attack before that attack? What happened to the backlash before the previous attack of that attack? They keep telling us there's going to be a backlash, and there is no backlash. Are mosques being burned? Are Muslims being deported or put into concentration camps? No, we continue to put up with this nonsense. And Muslims, we are appalled. This is not happening. It should not happen until it happens again. And we will come back, and we will raise our arms again in victory and go, whoa, gun control. Don't be mad at the Muslims. Please don't be mad at the Muslims. As they walk around like zombies in the ring, having gotten their butts kicked, because you know what? We're right. As sad as it is to say, we're right. I feel bad for them. Because you know what? The majority of them probably don't want us dead or care. They just want to be able to make, themselves a living or good culture somewhere. And they probably want to really live in a peaceful culture where they can do what they want to do and, pursue life the way our Constitution allows. It isn't us that's preventing that. It's them. The problem with Muslims is once they get a certain number, they become their own worst enemies. You want to know why? Same reason why black folks have become our own worst enemies. We congregate, We think, you know what, we can build a culture, we can do some things, we can have, you know, this esprit de corps within the black community and feel good about ourselves. It doesn't mean we don't like other people, etc. And then you know what they do? They put somebody like an Al Sharpton or a Maxine Waters or a Sheila Jackson Lee or Wilson, somebody in charge of them that doesn't give a crap. And then they become race-baiting, ethnocentric racists.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.